These pricks have failed me miserably.
Surrounded by pricks.
You stupid pricks!
Who are these pricks anyway?
Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of the Prickast podcast. I am your host, it's Kane, and I'm joined once again by my legendary co-hosts. From the start, we got Mr. Go Burns, also known as GB. Say hello, Mr. GB.
Hello.
And second, we have the Gaming Jew, everyone's favourite toss pot in the bag. Say hello, Mr. Gaming Jew.
Hang on, I'm quite offended by that, because tosspots are quite useful, and I'm not, so fuck you, and hello everybody.
Alright, well, you know what, if we ever get monetized, but this episode gets monetized instantly.
You're screwed, aren't we?
Well, next on the list, we have the man, the god of racing and repo missions himself, Red, the 8-bit dinosaur, or as I like to know him as, Reg5 Motors, my favourite Fortnite streamer. How are you doing today, good sir?
Doing good. Don't confuse racing with racist. There's two people that confuse that. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, like certain individuals we will not name. And finally, as the old phrase goes, we saved the best till last. The legendary Yuji Outlaw, the fighting Irishman himself. How are you doing today, Mr. Yuji Outlaw?
Princess Peach is a tramp. How's it going, everybody?
You know what?
She legitimately is a tramp, though.
She's been around more than bloody Mario.
Oh, she's such a hoe. She's like, Mario, you found me! Let me go and suck Bowser's dick in a different castle.
Yeah, why do you think she gets kidnapped by Bowser all the time and Mario has to go rescue her? No wonder we're so pissed off.
She doesn't fucking get kidnapped. She willingly goes, alright? What a bitch.
Except in Mario Sunshine, she gets kidnapped by a clone. But anyway, that's besides the point. So today we got a couple of topics on the chopping block for today's episode. And I was thinking, you know what? It's been a while, since we've done a little topic on this and that. And as we all know, we have a little running joke about gonk droids. And, well, one of the topics is about the franchise that introduced us to the gonk droids. So, Mr. GB, KOTOR delayed. What's that all about?
Yeah, well, apparently the remake of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic isn't going so well. Bear in mind, the original version was made by BioWare, and this is being done by another studio called Asper. Now, it was going to be an exclusive or early access to PlayStation 5. I think it was also going to be available for PC, maybe eventually Xbox. And there was some hubbub about one of the writers that was attached to the remake a couple months ago. But now there seems to be more problems along the way when it comes to this game. Two of the key directors fired from Asper. Reasons, who knows why. But it looks like we're going to have to wait a little longer for the KOTOR remake to come out. I think they're projecting 2025. At this point, I get the feeling we may never see the KOTOR remake, which that is a very, very tall order because a lot of Star Wars fans absolutely love and adore the original KOTOR. That was the reason why I bought the original Xbox, because at the time I had a PS2, and ironically, the original KOTOR was exclusive to Xbox, whereas the remake was going to be exclusive or early access to PS5. So at the moment, if it gets scrapped, I think I'd rather get it scrapped and canceled than it ending up being nothing more than a retcon disappointment that's just KOTOR in name only.
So, if that game is developed by EA?
Well, yeah, I think EA is under BioWare, and I believe that Asper is also under EA. I could be wrong about that, but it's all being done under LucasArts or Lucas Games now. Yeah, LucasArts was the original studio under Lucasfilms that did gaming, but that got scrapped after the Disney takeover. And then they launched Lucasfilm Games. I think it's called Lucasfilm Games. And they have several other Star Wars games in the works right now, and the KOTOR remake was one of them. And a lot of KOTOR fans, including myself, was kind of concerned about the information that we've been hearing about over the past few months. Like, why would you need to hire writers since there's technically already a script for the original game? Couldn't you just use the original script? Isn't that the easiest thing you could do? But now that you have key directors and maybe other people that are no longer working on the project, that means that there's a very real possibility that KOTOR remake may not see the light of day.
Well, that kind of sucks, I suppose, for all Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, if it does end up going through and they get more people on board and it ends up being a finished product, I, for the record, hope it turns out to be good. And I hope that whatever changes they do make to the story of KOTOR are minimum. Maybe it's just to fit it with the rest of the current canonical Star Wars universe, which keeps changing thanks to Disney Plus and Kathleen Kennedy, from the movies to the comics to the novels to now the Disney Plus shows and the video games. So who knows what we're going to get if we ever get the KOTOR remake whenever it finally drops. I think the earliest right now is 2025, which means there's a very real possibility that we might get GTA 6 before the KOTOR remake.
That's actually crazy. I mean, I remember like the original KOTOR. I don't really remember too much about the story, but I know what I know is like it's really good. You know, like Jedi's versus entire Sith armies, and it is such a good game from what I've been told. And I mean, part of me's kind of glad that at least it's been on the back pedal at the moment, just to give it more time to be put in the oven, because if you get it out too early, it's just not going to be good, and that's not even like with the gameplay. It could also be with the story, because the problem is that Disney has had recently when it comes to Star Wars, stuff. Case in point, Obi-Wan Kenobi. It felt like things were just happening for the sake of it to happen, and in some areas they were treading on eggshells to make sure that they didn't mess with like the main storyline, before the original trilogy where Obi-Wan meets Luke, etc., etc. And then they add characters for the sake of adding characters, like Reva, for example. And part of me, I agree with you, GB. If anything, when they are making the game, they should just use the original story, but just, I don't know, just add in a few new voice actors, or maybe add in a few new, things here and there to fit with the new canon, because Legends is no longer canon, unfortunately, and it hasn't been for a very long time. And say what you want about Disney canon, but, there has been a few gems that have come out of it,
Well, I'll agree with you when it comes to the canon. For one thing, Old Republic is supposed to be like several thousand years prior to the events of the prequel trilogy, or even the High Republic now. So whatever is in the Old Republic could still exist without being changed because it's thousands of years prior. But
exactly.
There's plenty of characters in KOTOR, so I seriously doubt they're going to add any characters in. There's a lot of awesome characters, not just the main character or supporting characters, but other like characters you run across throughout the various worlds of KOTOR. So I don't think that's a problem, but I hope that the delay, like you said, is actually a good thing ultimately for the remake if we eventually get it. I'd rather it be delayed and them actually have the right people working on it and making it faithful to the original game, as faithful as possible, and it ends up being an amazing experience for new and old Star Wars fans that love the KOTOR franchise. So I guess it's better than it being rushed out the door, like some games are TV shows.
I have something that you might be interested in on talking about anyway. A new console that you've been eyeing up. A Polium 1, I think it's called, or Polium, or whatever. The GameCube clone.
Wait, what? Napoleon, did you just say?
Polium, I don't bloody know.
I have no idea. I just thought you said Napoleon. I was like, what kind of console is that going to be?
Well, invading half of Europe in style.
Oh my god!
But
I see the picture in the group chat now. Is that a legit console? Is somebody actually making that, or is it a concept?
Well,
that's a concept. That's the thing. But this is the best part. They say they can run basically 8K on that little thing and ray tracing.
What?
No, I'm not having that. That's
no, I don't believe that.
Pull the other one. It's got bells on it. That's bollocks. That is. No, not having that. That's
Jesus
literally a
Christ.
Wi-Fi router. Piss off.
It's like,
laughs at PS5.
It looks more like a router than the actual PS5, though. You know what I mean?
and that's the thing. Compare it, like all of you here have PS5s. You see how titanic that thing is, like because of all the hardware that it is into, and you expect that this concept, because it's not built, they are like building the prototype. This little thing that is basically, like you said, a Wi-Fi router is gonna run 8K at 120 frames per second.
I mean, we should give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it's possible. I mean, like I say to my missus all the time, it's not the size that counts, you know? So it could be possible. I've seen some mad shit on Wish.com that looks that I never thought would ever be invented. Someone's made a PS5 Slim already.
Oh yeah, I've seen that video. Have you seen that video?
So that shit's possible, you know?
Oh god, that's such like I'm just baffled that he was able to do it. Like,
yeah,
I think when the first attempt didn't end too well because I think it froze when he was like just past like the loading screens of like Horizon, and then the second attempt, I think, yeah, it was able to run Horizon Zero Dawn or Forbidden West or whichever one it was. It ran it like a dream, but that does look interesting. GB, you got any opinions on it?
Yeah, at first when Red mentioned how it looked like the GameCube logo, I had to go look on Twitter, and yeah, that totally at least on the console itself, they have two different logos. They have their Twitter logo, and then they have the console logo, and yeah, the logo on the console absolutely looks like the GameCube logo. So total ripoff when it comes to the logo. When it comes to the console itself, like you guys are saying, I just don't think this thing's going to be able to compete with the PS5 or Xbox Series. Maybe the Steam Deck. Is it the Steam Deck that the big giant?
Yeah, Steam Deck.
Yeah, Steam Deck. Maybe that, but that's still pretty powerful for a handheld. Maybe the Switch, but then again, you have Nintendo with a vast catalog of amazing games that you have to go up against. So I really just don't see how the Polium is going to be anything else than another one of these, OWAs or OAs or whatever the hell that one was called. That's what it reminds me of. The OUYA. I forgot the name or how it was pronounced. But
well, I do know a console that it could compete against. Google Stadia. Yeah,
Oh.
Google
I thought you were
Stadia.
saying this
Great
Genesis.
minds think alike. Eh?
I'm puzzled now because I've just looked at what you were saying there, GB, about the fact that they've got one logo for the actual console and one logo on their Twitter. Why? I'm now actually this doesn't fill me with too much confidence if you haven't got the same logo for your product and for yourself. That doesn't really fill me with much confidence.
Well, the problem is that about the fucking about the whole logo thingy. Because that was their first one, everyone called them out, as GB said, because it's like the same shit of the GameCube. And they were trying to, no, we inspired of it. But they were forced to change it completely to the new one, who is like meh as best.
Oh, so they were told to change their logo then?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I'm in the Wayback Machine right now. Because if you visit the page right now, the specs, it says it's loading because everyone called them for their bullshit, and they are right now saying that the specs are loading. But I'm in the Wayback Machine, so this is what they promise: 4K Ultra HD, 8K with HDR, high dynamic range, ray tracing, and up to 120 frames per second. That's basically like end game PC game. Yeah, that's like end-game PC gamer right there. Like something that, 390 or something with the future 4000 graphic cards that we're gonna have in the future. Like, that's insane for something that's small, and that's why everyone say, yeah, sure. Good luck in that. Good luck with that, dude.
I'm gonna be honest, lads. This reminds me of something. This whole console ordeal going on right now. This reminds me of something that happened a few years back, and GB and Red might know what I'm about to refer to. So remember a few years back when Soldier Boy was coming out with those wacky consoles?
Oh my god! Yes.
Oh god!
Those weird Chinese knockoff consoles. And I remember I think JonTron made a video on them, and if you look at the description, it reminds me sort of like that. Oh, it's got this and that. When obviously the Soldier Boy console was literally just a Chinese knockoff console that had a bunch of ROM hacks on there, NES and Sega games and all that. which was crazy.
I genuinely don't know what that man was thinking. But I mean, he probably wasn't thinking.
But I mean, at least with this, this is somewhat legitimate. this console, at least when it comes to looks,
Yeah, I mean, it looks all right, yes, because it's small, it's dainty, and who doesn't love something that's small and dainty? But I think they're really barking a bit too loudly for without any actual substance whatsoever. You can't just claim all these things without actually proving it. I mean, have they put any videos or any actual real specs out that are able to be checked upon and fact checked or whatever, or are they just talking a lot of crap?
Yeah, no, they are talking a lot of crap. The best part is there is no games.
What?
For that thing, the whole Polium thing is that it runs games in basically Web 3.0. That is basically a buzzword for scams, NFTs, crypto, and all that bullshit.
Oh my god!
So it's literally a crypto farm then.
It's pretty much
terrible.
The whole philosophy of that thing, because I'm in their Discord and I talked with the guy that he was like head of it. It's like the whole philosophy is to bring the cryptosphere and the Web 3.0 and make it mainstream, pretty much. And they think that making a console, like for example, like to compete with the PlayStation and the Xbox and the Nintendo, is basically making and basically diversifying Web 3.0 to the masses. But as you know already, everyone has their really shit taste on Web 3.0 with the whole NFT fiascos and the huge heist on crypto that happened months ago. And again, this thing doesn't have any games. Yeah, you can run games in all the crypto fucking blockchains, but all of them look like fucking Unity games that you do on a weekend if you know about game design. So
you boys see the tweet I posted. Sorry for interrupting, but you guys see the tweet I posted in the group chat?
I just saw that now.
Yeah.
Who said we're laughing at you, Polium? For those of you who want to know what the tweet says, I mean, I'm sure it'll be up on the screen, but it says, while the world is laughing at us, we are happily building. Happy Monday to those who are building for Web 3. Can't wait to show you all the prototype. I'll bet you can't. Yes.
Reminds me of a Snake Freezer comment. Just with the smiley face at the end. Like,
actually,
like a little emoji.
If Snake Freezer was building a console, that would be his tweet. While the world is laughing at me, I am happily building. Happy Monday to you bastards who are building.
Oh dear. Anyway, continue, Red. Sorry for interrupting.
Sorry, brother Red. That's too much. That.
Well, continuing with that, I don't know, like how this is gonna basically make the Web 3.0 diversify, or even take the fucking like the infamy of being basically again a buzzword for getting you scammed. Again, the specs, as much as I repeat myself, I think they are just really out of place. Again, like sure you can replicate PlayStation 5s and all that if you have a good hardware, you can do it. But again, have you seen the size of a graphic card? Even if it's like, for example, a 180 or something like that. It's not small. It's quite, it's decent. It's decent size. And that thing is not gonna fit unless like you basically bring GPUs to a super minimal state, or basically you stole Apple's chip, the M1, and just put it there. But I don't know, and they say they're gonna have Nvidia to develop their own hardware, which is again kind of sketchy because it's a startup, and how you're gonna manage to get Nvidia to basically develop and make custom-made hardware for you is, I don't know, unless they have like great, like, humongous funding, which they have, which they don't have because they only have like $300 to start everything up. And it's just that. And the whole thing, again, because the controller, as you can see, is as big as the fucking console. And they said they have like these, Touch ID is proprietary from Apple. Like they have like these, you can just use your fingerprint to buy NFTs and buy crypto and buy games and all that bullshit. So, and they use Touch ID, which again is something that Apple is basically proprietary. So I don't know. These guys, I think just to close the whole topic, I think it's sure you can try it because who knows? Maybe they have the funding, maybe they have the people behind it that knows, and they actually have Nvidia building their own custom stuff and all that. But I don't think it's gonna. I don't think. I don't think I'm not very optimistic about it. I'm all in for technology and the advances of it, but I don't see how this is gonna basically diversify and make Web 3.0 up to the masses. And even then, no one is getting into that fucking buzz of Web 3.0, and not like no one, unless like about crypto, but that's how it is.
Yeah. I think it's definitely something that's going to come up again in a future Prickcast. If they ever put out a prototype and,
By the way, do you remember the Yuja?
Do I remember?
Console?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to pronounce. That.
Oh shit! Yes.
Oh,
The
that.
Yuja. Yeah. When GB was pronouncing it, it didn't ring a bell.
I didn't remember how it was pronounced, but I remember like it was what OUAYA or whatever. But that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, that thing flopped.
Yeah.
So I mean, using history, we're pretty confident the same thing's gonna happen to the Polium, right?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna flop.
I mean, why do you need a Touch ID on a console? Can I just ask? Why the fuck do you need a Touch ID?
That
It's
is
not
actually
a mobile
really
phone.
stupid.
Why do you need a Touch ID? What happened? Right, so you want me to now log in with my thumbprint, even though I've got, like every gamer ever, Cheeto dust all over my fucking thumbs. You want me to put that on there? Come on, dude. There's no need for a fucking Touch ID.
I mean, instead of having a Touch ID, they could just do what's worked for the past couple of years. You turn on the power button, and you turn it on.
I want to know if that thing's going to run Warzone, and if it does, how graphically shit is Warzone?
God, it'll look like last gen
120
Warzone.
frames per second. It's
like
going to look
fucking
shit.
Warzone
Dude.
on
I'm
the
going to be able to
PS3,
see.
bro.
I'm going to be able to see Bobby Kotick's face in the background on Warzone if I've got it at 120 frames per second. And just his big, stupid, cheesy grin there, rubbing his hands together with his sardine breath, waiting to inappropriately touch another person who didn't ask.
That was a
by
dark
the
end
way-
to that subject.
They are like, that was
And a dark
weird.
beginning to a new subject that you just brought up, Mr. Gaming Jew. Now you mentioned Bobby and his
I was
antics.
hoping this wasn't going to happen now.
Warzone number 2.
Yes, yes, gentlemen. So we're all under agreement, even though GB doesn't really play it. We're all under the agreement. Warzone's pretty shit, right?
In recent years, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it was fantastic when it was first started and Infinity Ward did it. Then they gave it to Raven, and Raven fucked it up, and now everything's gone shit, basically.
It went to shit when I got banned. That's when it went to shit.
Well, I mean, that was obviously whilst Raven had hold of the game, so Raven ruined your life.
Smelly Raven.
Infinity Ward would never do that, but Raven did.
I mean, yeah, the only Raven I really like is like the Raven from Teen Titans. That's it. Or the Ravens, the little bird.
Oh,
funny
yes.
little bird.
Oh, yes,
That's
yes.
cool too.
Those are supposed to be really smart birds. Anyway, we're getting off topic and whatnot.
Yeah.
We'll talk about avian stuff later on if we have time. So there is supposed to be a new Warzone coming. What I think Activision have done essentially is they've looked at Warzone and what it has become thanks to Raven and thanks to the addition of skins like fucking Attack on Titan and fucking Snoop Doggy Bastard Dog and fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, who, by the way, had nothing like Snoop Dogg didn't, had nothing to do in sort of 1980s Vietnam, which is what Cold Era looks like right now. And so, I mean, don't get me wrong, I would happily pay to see the Terminator going through an old Warzone or something, through like World War II or something, maybe a back in time Terminator movie, who knows? Arnold, if you want to do that, give me a call. Definitely try to raise at least 30 quid for the budget. But yeah, so I mean, it's gotten ridiculous, it's gotten silly, it's gotten stupid. There's more hackers than ever. There's more dodgy bastards than ever. And so it's not a fun game anymore. Not that it was too fun in the first place. But anyway, sort of getting bogged down. So there is a second Warzone coming. And I mean, it's supposed to be dropping this year. I'm genuinely excited. And the only reason I'm genuinely excited is because it cannot be any worse than what I'm playing all the time now. Warzone is like, you guys are more casual people who've sort of come in and out of Warzone, and maybe you'll catch my stream or whatever. So you guys don't really get like the absolute offense I'm dealing with at the moment playing this game. as a lifelong Call of Duty fan, this is nothing compared to what I grew up on. Modern Warfare 1, Modern Warfare 2, even Modern Warfare 3 wasn't that bad. And I'm just to make Kane happy, Black Ops as well.
Yes, good old Black Ops 1.
But you know, it's turned into a pile of shit. And so Warzone 2 is essentially, as I understand it, supposed to be Activision's do-over. You know, for them to go, right, okay, we kind of fucked up with that one by, you know, adding fucking Cold War compatibility and Vanguard compatibility and giving Raven the keys to something that they have no idea to deal with. So I think what's going on is Activision are saying, right, let's do this again. Let's start from the beginning. It's apparently it's going to be a standalone game. So, you know, at the moment, Warzone sort of coincides with Modern Warfare and Vanguard. So, you know, it sort of shares the same engine. This will be a standalone game with its own engine. It will be based. There will be some tools and some tricks used from the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which is coming out 28th of October. There will be, you know, bits and pieces from that implemented into the game, but it will be a standalone version. So that's already quite optimistic because, you know, we don't want an integration of a game. If you can't get one game right, why do we want to put two together and then hope you get that right? That doesn't make any sense to me as a developer or as just a layman stood at the side of the road wondering what the fuck is going on with this car crash of a game. You're integrating other pieces, other parts of bits of software. It is not going to help. You know, I don't think that's going to make your problems worse, is it not? The load that it's going to take and you know, the strain that it's going to put on the hardware, I think that was a moronic idea in the first place.
So the game, sorry for interrupting you.
No,
so
please, go ahead.
basically Warzone 2 is going to be, as much as I understand, it's going to be independent. It's not going to be dependent of, for example, you need the new Call of Duty or Vanguard or whatever. It's basically going to be its own.
It's going to be a free Battle Royale standalone game that has nothing to do with the other Call of Duty.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So it will have its own battle pass with its own unique items that are not transferable to other games or be able to be bought in another game and brought over to here. They will be completely unique. Weapons as well. I believe there's going to be standalone weapons that are only available in Warzone. You know, weapon integration has long been a huge problem for me as a sort of serious Warzone
now
player.
you're mentioning like weapon integration. I do have to agree. I mean, when they did the Cold War stuff, I mean, it was fine to have those guns in there, but the problem is they didn't properly balance them. You know, It is nice to change up the weapon variety, but the problem is when it's broken and people are like, "Hey, if it's broken, why not use it so I can get an easy win?" You know, and the problem is it ruins the diversity in the game. You know,
it does.
once
Everyone uses the
Vanguard
same
released as well, literally because the Vanguard guns have 10 attachments compared to 5 on the Modern Warfare and Cold War guns, everyone switched to the Vanguard guns.
Yeah, and it's given everybody a huge, ridiculous disadvantage who isn't using Vanguard guns.
Yeah.
You know, for those of you who don't, this is the problem with integration. If you don't have Vanguard and you haven't played Vanguard, even on the free weekends, you'll have no fucking clue whatsoever about how to build one of those guns. Do you know what I mean? You would have no idea what sort of recoil you've got, what sort of TTK you've got, which is time to kill for those of you who don't know. You've got no idea of bullet drop. You've got no idea of capacity of magazines, etc., etc. You don't know that unless you've played that particular Vanguard or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So integrating, it's like the way I could put it in stupid terms would be, it's like if Epic Games, I'm not sure if Epic Games owns Team Fortress or not. Am I right? Or
What, Team Fortress 2?
Yeah.
No, that's Valve. That's Valve.
That's Valve, yeah, right. Okay, so what I'm thinking is, imagine like Fortnite then integrated weapons and characters from Team Fortress 2 without balancing them or messing them around. Just imported them, basically, copy and pasted them over. I mean, I'm not saying that Fortnite steals shit, but that's what they built. But
to be fair,
it's the same thing.
But Fortnite, they've had like issues before when it comes to adding in some weapons. I remember a while ago, I think this was a couple of years ago, they added in a sword. I don't know what it's called, but I know that it was just a sword, and it was basically just so overpowered that if you got that, you basically have already won the game because it's too overpowered. You run extremely fast with it. You can hack and slash with it just like that, you know, with no trouble. And basically, like, if you were a little Gimpazoid in a building, you basically shit a brick because that person's going to, like, chop down that building like it's, a tree.
Right,
you
so
know?
that was a couple of years ago, though, right?
Yeah, but people complained because of how broken that thing was. And what Epic did actually surprised me. They actually nerfed the item when it was still in the game, and then they vaulted it after a while.
Well, there you go. A couple of years ago, Fortnite had one overpowered weapon.
Well, they've had a few, but they're pretty good about vaulting.
Well, the lightsaber
weapons,
was a son of a bitch. We all know that, don't we?
Buffing some weapons, nerfing other weapons. Sometimes you'll get a weapon in the game that is a little too OP, but they'll either vault it if enough people complain, or they'll go and they'll nerf it a little bit. So they're really good at looking at what the audience, with the gamers, the players in their community like and don't like about various weapons.
Right. So let me ask then, when there is a, let's say, overpowered weapon, it's only usually one, right? There's not 2 or 3 or 4 overpowered weapons that can be abused to win. It's usually just one weapon, and they go, "Shit, we made a mistake."
Yeah, that's only one. I remember that stupid AA-12 that when they added that on Fortnite. It's called differently. It's like it's some shitty name. That fucking shotgun.
Some shit.
Oh, I hate that fucking thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's an automatic shotgun. It's like it's just basically it just destroys you out of nowhere.
Yeah, the drum
shotgun.
shotgun.
They removed that.
Yeah, that
I
thing.
hate it.
They vaulted that. So
thing
see, that's
got
another.
vaulted.
That's another prime example how it may take them like a few days, but they'll look at the.
They
feedback.
fix it.
Yeah, they will fix it, or else worst case scenario, they just vault their gun.
Right. So this is the trouble then that I'm having with Warzone. Is Warzone there'll be a new gun brought out, or they don't do one gun at a time. There'll be 3 or 4 new guns that come out at once, and every single one of those fucking guns will be overpowered and absolutely impossible to defeat. And the only time that Activision will fix that is when the season is over or midway through the season. They won't fix it straight away.
Not only just that as well, Mike, but another thing they do is once everyone's bought the bundles involving those said guns that you're mentioning, I don't know, let's say for example, there's a new assault rifle that is a beast to use, right? It's in a bundle for 2,400 COD points. People are like, you know what? I don't want to unlock that thing. I'm just gonna buy that thing just so I can use it. Once people have bought the gun and they've, had their little, power, using the gun, their little power rush. After that, they're going to nerf it, and then they're going to add in another thing that's going to be in a pack or you have to unlock. And that's going to be the cycle continues again and again.
Yeah, it does. And also then you get the people who've paid for that gun complaining, well, it was super effective before when I bought it, and now you've gone and messed with it. I want my money back or whatever. It's like, how do you not, as a fucking multi-billion-dollar company, how do you not know already that whenever you bring a gun in, it's always overpowered and broken? How can that not be? How can you not stop that from happening? What is wrong with you? So I'm getting lazy. I've been using the same guns in Warzone since the fucking game came out. I refuse to change them, and they've never once been meta weapon, which is, for those who don't know, meta stands for most effective tactic available, right? So they're not. The ones I use have never been meta weapons, and they never will be meta weapons. I refuse to use them because I feel like it's an unfair advantage. It's getting a leg up, and it's cheating. In my, let's not get by my. So I use the same guns, and they've always been fine. It's down to the person that uses them more than anything. If you use my guns, and I'm not very good at it. So if someone else used my guns, they could win the game. But me, I'll settle for top 20. It's so stupid. How do you not know that you've got a whole history, almost 2 years of this fucking game, and you know already that every gun you bring out, as soon as you bring it out, becomes absolutely overpowered? Is there not a safeguard in place to stop that happening? Do people not test these things before they put them out there? I don't get how Activision
The
works.
way I kind of see it is I kind of see them doing it intentionally, so they basically just con their players out of money.
Oh, so they make more money, isn't it? Yeah. So you buy the gun.
I mean, it's Activision,
bundle, and that's
Yeah, as long as they're making money out of it, they don't care.
Yeah, well, they're bastard. I'm waffling on about shitty old Warzone now, but I should really be getting excited about Warzone 2. I don't know if you chaps are going to bother with it. It is free. It's a standalone game, and also another thing Activision have confirmed is that the current Warzone is around 180 gigabytes. This will be less than 100 gigs. So right away, that's
no way.
There's no.
Activision learned. Activision learned to package the fucking
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's because there's no integration, there's no downloadable content from other games. It's simply just a game on its own. It's essentially what Fortnite is. It's a game that runs on its own without the need for any integration of anything else. It just runs. So it's a smaller. That means
game. No 45 gigabytes updates.
Yes, no 45 gigabyte. I mean, at some point, who knows if they put a new map out. And another thing as well that there is rumored, which isn't confirmed yet, no one spoke about it at Activision. They kept tight-lipped about it, but the rumor is that there will be map rotation similar to what there kind of is in Warzone at the moment, except it will be map rotation between the maps we've had before. So Verdansk 84, which was wonderful. Kane, we live streamed that. That was fucking amazing.
Map.
You know, Nakatomi Plaza. I miss Verdansk personally, and I miss Nakatomi Plaza and running around getting fucking shot in the dick by Rambo and his crossbow, or Bruce Willis in his fucking bare feet. Do you know what I mean? There was some great fun that we had on Verdansk when Warzone was actually quite a decent game. So essentially what they've done with Warzone 2 now is they're saying this is how Warzone should have continued rather than what we did to it to destroy it. So I'm very excited for it. I'm not going to talk about it anymore, but yes, I'm very excited for Warzone 2. And you know, the more information we find out at a later date.
There was another thing I remember when that whole Warzone 2 stuff was coming out, and this is, I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but I remember like Cod Leaker was talking about this, and this is like specifically for Modern Warfare 2. There is rumors to suggest that there's going to be an Escape from Tarkov like game mode. That's
yes,
there is.
Added. There's a sandbox, a full sandbox sort of mode.
And it's going to be similar to Warzone, where it's going to be like free to play, you know, so you don't have to cough up money for Modern Warfare 2 just to play the mode. Yeah,
basically, yeah. So, I mean, that's another good thing, because Tarkov, for those of you who don't know what Escape from Tarkov is, it's actually an incredibly strategic and quite a fun fucking game. Basically, do you remember Red? Do you remember that amazing meme game that I played called Vigor? Where we were basically running around and not dying and looting people. So that's basically a pound shop wish.com version of Escape from Tarkov. Escape from Tarkov is like that, but on a huge grander scale. Scale? What the fuck? A grander scale. Stale. I'm talking about my channel again. Sorry. So yeah, fucking grander scale. But yeah, so it's essentially that. So that's another game mode, like Kate said, is coming to, which is quite exciting. So I mean, there is stuff to get excited about for it, and I would hope that you chaps would at least give it a try with me when it does eventually drop. That would be great.
I might give it a gander.
Why not? It can be as bad as Warzone now, really.
I feel like, us gents, it's our noble duty to make sure that the annoying children don't take the spots on my stream.
There you go, man. If you guys join me, then Elax can't. How about that?
Burst everyone's eardrums in the live chat that are watching the stream. So it's our duty to make sure that the eardrums of the viewers are protected.
It is. It is.
As long as
so that means Uzi, you can't join. Piss off.
As long as I can call my ID Tyrone's big dong, I'm good.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they let you have bloody Pablo Escobar last, pretty sure you can have Tyrone's.
Yeah. Well, the sniper didn't. I remember David having a problem with calling himself.
Oh no, he couldn't spell Il Padrino. That's why. He couldn't spell it.
Padrino was like that.
Yeah, it was like Paderno or something. El Paderno. I was like, Dave, you can't spell.
You failed Spanish miserably.
Literally, like, the man's Hungarian. I expect him to fail any other language, but still. I mean, you could have just Googled it. Sorry, Dave, but, you could have just Googled it, mate. Anyway, but that's my shit over on Warzone 2 and Activision. I'm very excited for it, and especially if I get to run with you guys, because that's bloody.
Yeah, I'm very sad you didn't book the Snoop Dogg skin. I will give you money for it if you want to.
Why do you want to watch me running around as Snoop Dogg? I don't understand.
It has really funny quotes. It has really funny quotes.
Bro, my brother gifted it to me. Do you want me to gift it to you? Like my brother did.
I'm supposed to be streaming Warzone tomorrow, which obviously this recording won't be coming out. It'll be like so Saturday. I'm supposed to be streaming it as Snoop Dogg. Is that something I have to do?
Do it.
Yeah, you need to use the skin. If we're gonna buy it to you, you
all
need
right,
to be
lads. If it gets gifted to me, I'll fucking use it all the time.
It's either Snoop Dogg or the Terminator.
No, I'll take Snoop Dogg, mate. I'm not taking the Terminator.
Snoop Dogg is not hilarious.
Well, I mean, there's two Terminators. There's the T-800, which is Arnold, then there's the T-1000.
Yeah, but that should be Robert Patrick, but it's not. It's the endoskeleton, isn't it? So
it's the
no, the
blobby
face
blob.
resembles Robert Patrick. I mean, it's just him in the biker cop outfit with the helmet.
Yeah,
and the biker
and the thing,
jacket.
I have heard the audio quotes
is
of
it?
the characters, and it
I
is
actually haven't seen the T1000. To be fair.
well,
I just
it
saw
is
what was-
literally just his face plastered onto a skin. But I mean, I have listened to like the quotes of the of those.
So
two
did they get
skins.
Rob Patrick to do the voice then?
It's you remember Rambo and Bruce Willis?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like that. They just reuse quotes from the films,
Oh, okay. Well,
but instead it's just
I mean, they
you know,
still have
quotes
to pay for the
from
licensing
Terminator
for it,
2.
didn't they? So...
It's literally just quotes from Terminator 2. So you can run around as Arnold saying, "Uncle Bob."
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, fuck. Why not? That sounds like a
There you go.
fucking right laugh, mate. Definitely.
Or "I need a vacation."
I need a vacation.
So, what's next, gentlemen?
I believe I've got a topic I'd like to bring up.
Oh, what's that?
Dun, dun, dun.
Suspense.
Fuck off, it ain't that bad.
All right, who died, UG?
Nobody died.
Not
Well,
yet.
actually,
Except-
technically, something did. My YouTube career.
We're gonna talk about Michael's sexual problems again.
Hey, we promised we
Oh
wouldn't
my
talk
God.
about this on air. All right, this was meant to be a thing between friends. Okay, leave my blue pill
But if-
obsession and my small PP alone. Thank you very much indeed. Move on.
Well, Red, to be fair, if we actually did talk about that, that'd be a short conversation. But
It
anyways,
would be a short conversation, yeah.
Wow.
the topic I actually do want to bring up is kind of something that I've been kind of thinking about for the last couple of days. And, well, I'm going to ask you guys the same question as well. And that would be some moments that we've had, like playing video games or whatever, that's just kind of made us kind of smile and just think about, good times, if that makes any sense. Like, before I even, talk about mine, what about you guys? Do you have any favorite gaming moments that just made you smile?
I would answer with mine, but I am saving mine for the next topic. So I'm just zip it.
Okay, fair enough.
Do you want me to field it first then, I suppose?
Yeah, go for it, man.
I mean, I technically have two little moments that really do make me smile. The very first moment, I don't know why. I don't know who's going to agree with me. You probably won't. But every single time you boot up Sonic the Hedgehog 1 on the Sega Genesis or the Sega Mega Drive, as it was known over here, and you hear that,
Yeah.
boom, Sega!
Oh god.
Brilliant.
Instant
That does
smile,
kinda
mate.
hit
'Cause
you.
that's childhood. That's childhood right there, punching me in the bollocks.
And that's with with all the classic Sonic games.
Yeah.
Like Sonic 1, Sonic 2,
Yeah.
Sonic CD,
I mean,
Sonic
it
3
didn't matter which
Knuckles.
Sonic, obviously. I was just pointing out Sonic 1 because that was the very first one I had. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember the cheat code even to this day. Up, down, left, right, A, B, start. Any level you want. Boom.
Oh
Brilliant.
god.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. And, all the themes on Sonic. But just that start up, that Sega.
Especially like Sonic 3. Sonic 3 has the
You know
best
what it always gave me?
soundtrack.
Do you know what the feels I always got from that? Now as an adult, and I only realise now, is when that Sega come on, it reminds me of when you go to the movies or the cinema, as the civilized world knows it, and they have that sort of surround sound bullshit advert that comes on before, and it's like T something surround sound. It goes boom, and you hear it all around you, and it resonates right through your brain.
yeah.
It hits that specific, that sort of what's the word? It hits a frequency that really does resonate in your head, and that's what the Sega sound does for me. And the second one is obviously Vice City again, and very first opening lines when you get a look at Vice City, not the Sonny Forelli talking bullshit thing, but the very first opening lines where I poke my head out of the gutter for 1 freaking second, bait shovel shit in my face. Go get some sleep. That, Tommy Vercetti and Ken Rosenberg, beautiful. That brings a smile on my face, even now as an older gentleman. So those are the two moments of all throughout gaming that never fail to make me smile. So thank you, UG, because that was a fucking amazing question, and now I'm high on nostalgia. Amazing. I love it.
R.I.P. Ray Liotta.
What
We
about-
love you, man.
Hell yeah.
Exactly.
Great.
What about
Grand.
you, GB?
I would say that, there's probably a lot of moments over the decades I've been playing games that have put a smile on my face, but I guess when it comes to open world games, like the very first time you get out of the tutorial mission and you actually get to see and explore the wider world and you see how amazing it is, especially like I guess case in point Ghost of Tsushima. Once you get to a certain point where you're finally on the horse and you're riding off in the opening score and the logo Ghost of Tsushima appears, and that really brought a smile to my face because it just felt like, oh boy, I'm in for something really amazing and epic, and it just set the stage for what was to come. And I guess it's everything. It's the world, it's the graphics, it's the music, it's the sound, it's everything combined together that just puts a smile on my face when it comes to video games.
And I remember watching you stream that, and you were right. Your prediction about feeling, something epic and something big is about to happen was right, because it is one phenomenal, epic game, isn't it? It really is.
It is.
It's a beautiful game.
Yeah, and you can cite that example for numerous other amazing games that have come out throughout the years. But I think it's just a combination of things that really does it for me. It's not just one thing, but it's like a whole bunch of things. Like another example is Batman Arkham Asylum. It was the first time I actually felt like I could play the Batman. Plus, you had Kevin Conroy voice Batman. You also had Mark Hamill voice the Joker. Arlene Sorkin voicing Harley Quinn. All from the original animated series, which I loved. And that definitely put a smile on my face the first time I played Batman Arkham Asylum.
Hell yeah. That's put a smile on my face just hearing you talk about that, man. That's so cool.
Yeah.
But now you mentioned Arkham Asylum, that is such a good game.
It is.
Like,
it
top
still
5
holds up.
Batman games out
graphically,
there.
yeah, there are games that look way better now, but it's still a great game to play.
Yeah.
And that was their goal at Rocksteady, was to make you actually feel like and think like the Batman when you played that game.
I'm very tempted to the remaster that came out a few years ago, like the Return to Arkham remasters for City and Asylum.
Yeah.
I'm very tempted just to upgrade to Premium PlayStation Plus just so I can get those 2 games.
Oh, I think it'd be a worthy fucking choice. I don't doubt that anyone else here would agree.
The only problem is if you were to stream that game, you'd run into some copyright issues, like a certain friend of ours did.
Yeah,
He tried
fuck
to stream
Warner
it.
Brothers. You should not be claiming a score to a fucking video game. That's totally bullshit, because I planned to stream through Arkham Asylum, then Arkham City, maybe Arkham Origins, and Arkham Knight. But after my first Arkham Asylum stream, I get a shit ton of copyright claims from Warner Brothers. So, F you, WB.
I mean, does anyone else actually love Angry GB?
I love it. I love it.
It's fucking. You should bottle that shit up and sell it, GB. You'd make a
I'll
killing.
just play that shit off stream. Like, fuck it. I can go back and enjoy Arkham Asylum myself. Fuck you. You're not claiming any more of my
He's literally trying to
streams.
kill me. Oh my
I love
god.
this man. I love him.
Oh, GB. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I gotta mute.
Uh-oh.
Take a minute.
I think I did pour Mike in. I didn't want to do a copyright claim on his life. Jeez.
Oh, man. Holy shit, dude. You literally did murder me then. Oh god, that's gonna suck in the morning. It was worth it though. Woo.
Jess wants to know my location.
She just gave me the just because you almost killed me. She came in the room. Came to see if I was alright. I'm not alright. GB nearly killed me. Oh, fuck. Oh, rest in peace.
But what about you, Red? You got one?
Well, in my case, it's kind of more personal. One doesn't have any game in specific. It's more about when I was young. I got my PlayStation. And I actually invited my dad to play Gran Turismo 2. I insisted him. And I told him, hey, you should try all that. I was a young kid back then. And he actually accepted one day, and I just told him just one lap on this. I was like a rally car or something. I think it was a Evo, if I'm correct. In this Lancer, and he just, well, as expected, he crashed into everything. But it was so nice. Again, I still have that memory in my life because more than ever, it's like it doesn't involve anything with gaming. But actually made me, kinda see him playing and kinda, trying to have a good time there. It was kinda cool. It was really, really nice. In a specific on gaming, I just usually see them as entertainment value. Those things like something good. Well, if there are good games, and and something like, ooh, this is great. It's just but that memory in a specific, it was like something that basically stayed on my mind until this day.
You know what?
Nice.
That's so fucking wholesome, man. That is so wholesome and so nice to hear. And yeah, thank you for sharing that with us. Really do.
Thank you, Red.
Appreciate it.
Very good.
So what about you, Ken, or do you want me to go?
You go. You go first, UG, because my quote-unquote moment that made me smile is kind of also a segue into the next topic, for me at least.
Oh, this has gone a lot smoother than I thought it was, gentlemen, just so you... It's going great, isn't it? It's
So yeah,
fucking brilliant.
take the wheel, UG. Let us know.
Alright, so I think like one moment that always like sticks out for me was when Red Dead Redemption 1 came out and I ended up buying it on the Xbox 360. And I'd say I was maybe about an hour into the game and my dad walked into the room and he just kind of looked in and he was like, "Oh, what are you playing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm playing that new Red Dead game." And most people know that my dad loved Western games. So, excuse me.
It's all right, take your time, brother.
Yeah.
So he pulls up a chair and he sits next to me and we ended up going through the entire game together. Sorry.
It's all right, brother. Take your time.
All right.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
Take your time.
So I was basically playing the whole game. He was just sitting there like watching it, and of course we all know the ending to how Red Dead 1 ended, and my dad was more pissed off about it than I was. Like I can't exactly repeat the exact words my dad would say, otherwise yeah.
Oh, we get.
I think we can all imagine exactly. Hearing all the stories about your dad, UG, I'm fairly sure we can all imagine what he said.
Yeah.
So literally when it came to like the very end, or you meet Edgar Ross at the very end, and literally my dad snatched the controller out of the hand and goes, "I'm killing this bastard myself."
Oh, that is
So-
Come for you, Ross.
So I was basically like showing my dad how to do quick draw. And he was like, "Can I shoot him in the head?" He goes, "You can, yeah. That's all I care about." And he literally put the high power pistol. Every single one of them was a headshot.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Who'd have thought your dad was a better
So-
gunslinger than Snake Frasier?
Anyone's better than Snake when it comes to gunslinging.
But like the game was over. Like my dad kind of enjoyed it, but I always kind of got this is going to sound really weird, but I'll say this anyway. There a couple of months ago, I streamed through Red Dead Redemption 1 on my channel, and I kind of still felt like he was sitting right next to me when I was going through that.
He definitely was. I mean, I don't know what other people's opinions are on, and it doesn't matter even religious beliefs or whatever, but I believe that whatever happens when we die, that we're never left alone. Like when someone we love dies, they're never left alone. They are always with us. And whether that means in your heart, in your mind, spirit, whatever, it doesn't matter. They're always there because memories are exactly what keep those people alive, right? So he probably was there right with you, UG. He's been there since the very beginning.
But for me, that's always the one moment that makes me smile.
That's a beautiful moment, man. That is absolutely beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
That,
Thank you.
that makes us feel like your dad's been sat here with us as well now.
Yeah.
It's like he's sat here listening to this right now and thinking, fuck, my son has fallen quite a bit, hasn't he?
No, he's probably thinking, if you cry, I'm going to slap you with the back of the head.
Fuck yeah, he's going to have to slap all of us then because we're all getting fucking all emotional now. We're mugging up. Oh, fuck.
But yeah, that's my story.
I was originally gonna save my favorite, like a moment that made me smile, for the next topic, which we'll get to in a moment. But so I'm gonna add in another memory because when he mentioned Red Dead Redemption, I remembered literally launch night of Red Dead Redemption 2. It was me and some IRL friends of mine, and this was literally the very first time I've ever stayed up all night just to play a game on launch day, and God, what a fucking night that was. I mean, when it first started and we were watching the thing, because we had all, at least been, my friends, they haven't played through the entirety of Red Dead Redemption 1. I have, but they hadn't. They knew basically like the basics of the first game, and they knew, oh yeah, there's John and all that, and there's his gang. And for me, it was kind of cool just sitting there with them, seeing how everything happened before the events of Red Dead 1. And just goofing around, not even doing the story, just fucking around, playing Five Finger Fillet, playing poker, playing blackjack, or starting a bar fight in Valentine, or even just kidnapping random civilians and just throwing them off mountains or on train tracks. Random shit you do in the map. I know I might sound like a fucking sociopath, saying this, but those kind of like goofy moments you have with hanging out with friends, on a game. Those are always like my favorite kind of moments that make me smile. And it's not even like the crazy shit you do. It's just because of the good company, I always have fun with you guys, but like whenever I do it with IRL people, I find it a little bit more special because those are people I've known throughout my life, and I never really expect to have those kind of scenarios, in games with them, which kind of just makes me like, wow, it kind of hits home,
Yeah, I get it, bro. It's a lot nicer to do something like with IRL friends as well as. I mean, it's obviously great to play with your friends online too.
Yeah,
but I think there's something nicer about the camaraderie, being able to sit right next to someone and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's how we used to have to do it back in the day. Like Mortal Kombat 2 to GoldenEye, playing against friends.
Yeah.
Like 2 to 4 screens, everybody on their N64 controller, and even like the original top down. I've mentioned that before of GTA.
Oh yeah, I know the story.
Hanging out on the
causing
weekends
rampages,
at a friend's
taking
house, taking turns passing the controller, and times like that. And even like with Yuji and Red, there were some memories where I played a couple games with my papaw because he had an Intellivision back in the day. He got me into gaming, and even playing some games with my dad, or similar to Red and Yuji. My dad sitting there while I was on the couch playing GTA 4, amazed how amazing the world looked and how realistic it was. So, there's definitely countless memories that we can all just drum up that just puts a big smile on our face. And I think that's a big reason why so many of us love playing video games.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, there is another thing I actually want to talk about, which is another moment, kind of entirety of an entire game that made me smile. And it's not for the reasons that you might think, but it's mainly because of how wholesome the game is. Stray. So most people might know Stray as that cat game that just came out recently. And while you play as a cat in a post-apocalyptic world that's like a dystopian future where humanity has been wiped out for at least 7 million years at this point. And it's literally just AI robots that are just roaming around, and they've gained somewhat sentient intelligence in an underground land. The game, in my opinion, it's not even just for like the cat thing. I love the world. Just seeing how things have drastically changed, and just being a cat just roaming around, like, and even the story for Stray. I mean, it might sound simple at first, but once you wrap your head around it, it's like, oh yeah, so this connects to this piece of the puzzle. And I'm not going to spoil the story for those that are actually interested on picking up Stray. All I'm going to do is like just say, hey, in the opening, you get separated from your family of cats, and basically you're just on a search trying to get back to your family, and along the way you meet a few comrades and you have a good time, and you avoid some of the nasty folks that have somewhat appeared when the apocalypse began. And it's a really nice game. It's really beautiful. It's very short, but I still think it's beautiful. And all the side stuff you can do, the side like characters you meet, like honestly, even if it is just a bunch of robots just in there, and while there's a cat that's here and there, it's still kind of cool. I like it. And although yes, it is like £25. If you are on PlayStation 5 or PS4, you can just get the premium version of PS Plus, and you quote unquote get it for free if you do the upgrade. But it's kind of not free because you have to cough up money for PlayStation Plus Premium. But I still really enjoy the game. Best part is you can meow a lot in the game, so you know what? That's already 10 out of 10 game in my opinion. If you get to meow at free will, perfect game. 10 out of 10.
I agree wholeheartedly with that. It's amazing. Any game where you can meow is a game worth paying for.
Absolutely.
Except GTA, because when you turn into an animal and you turn into a cat on that, you can meow, and that's not worth paying. So,
yeah. And you know, with me playing Stray, I believe I have somewhat convinced some people I know that are interested in the game. For example, my good friend Relicane, absolute legend in the community. He was watching my Let's Play, like, you know, just in the background. Like, he was watching it when there were videos. And because he saw how good the game looked, he ended up picking it up. He's now got the Platinum Trophy for that game.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
That's
Damn.
amazing. Holy moly.
Because, I mean, he loves collecting trophies on, you know, PlayStation games. So, I mean, I respect people that go for trophies. You know, it's pretty awesome. And I know...
trophy grinding is legit.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I know your friend Azralin, GB, she's also picked up the game after, you know...
Yeah, she was asking a lot of questions about it. And I told her that you streamed it. And she was basically asking, well, does Kane think it was worth playing? Does he think it's worth the money? And that's what you told me, that, it might be $26 US, but it's, I guess, the quality of the game. I know a few others of you have also played the game, and I'm interested in y'all's opinions too. But yeah, Stray is a very interesting game because I do have a love-hate relationship with cats because I've owned cats since I was a kid. I happen to have 2 cats, and it's a very fascinating direction to take a game. But I agree with you. I think it's a very, very wholesome game that almost anybody could enjoy from all ages.
And I'll admit, I mean, without spoiling the story again, I'll admit the story is both wholesome, saddening, and kind of bittersweet at the ending, you know, in my opinion. It's a really nice story. Like, I mean, it's short but simple, and it's like that old phrase, less is more, you know?
Yeah.
That's something I like to believe in a lot.
That's absolutely true in terms of video games. I really do believe less is more. The more you overcomplicate things, the more difficult things get for everybody involved.
Absolutely.
It's nice to see a return to a golden era of gaming where games were just based on one protagonist, not necessarily a human protagonist, but, you know, just a story being told. I
just think it's really unique, you know, because I don't know how many games out there where you just goof around as a cat, you know, like, you know, bobbing and weaving. And something I really liked is, I think Ikari actually posted this in your server, GB, in the gaming hall, but he posted some tweets of, like, the voice actor for, or voice actress, quote-unquote, for the cat of Stray, you know, the main character of Stray, which was literally a cat, obviously. And then they also had another cat that was, like, for the model of the actual cat that's in the game. So they had 2, like, cat actors.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Which is kind of awesome.
I hope they were paid well in treats for their contribution.
Oh, I'm sure they had a big bag of Dreamies as their reward.
They better had. Because those are the real stars right there, dude.
Absolutely. But anyone else here got, like, anything they want to add on to Stray, like their opinions and what they've seen of it, or if they've played it, like, what do they think of the game? You know, if they like it. Like,
I've played Stray. Like, I'll admit, like, I haven't finished it yet. Plus, I got it for free, but that's another story. But from what I've seen so far, it's definitely interesting. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of cats because I've never owned one, but from what I've seen, it looks interesting, and at the same time, the story has kind of gripped me. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how it plays out.
Yeah, all I'm gonna say is it's very wholesome, but also kind of sad as well in some areas. And the character of B12, without spoiling his character arc, it's a very tragic story, if I'm gonna be honest, like, for his character. Or their character, or whatever. I don't want to misgender them. But, you know, point is, they have a very, like, tragic backstory, which I'm not going to spoil. You'll find out later on in the game. It's, I believe, at the halfway point you actually find out. It's once you leave the slums. I think we're done talking about wholesome cat games for today. You know, who knows? We might talk about it again in the future. Or, you know, you never know. We might talk about it once more on the show as soon as, like, you know, Yuji's finished it and he can give his opinion on what he thought of the full game. But, and it's a big one, and I cannot lie. I think it's time we get to the part of the show that I think everyone likes on this show. Mr. Gaming Jew, you may take the wheel off of me for a moment, and let's have a look at the mail that the pricks have sent.
Yes, indeed, it is
Prickmail.
time for Prickmail, yes. I do have to say, gentlemen, I was thinking about this during the break, while I nipped outside. I was thinking we should have a catchy jingle for Prickmail, you know what I mean? Like, if you're looking for a casket with a nail, then it's time to fuck off to the Prickmail. Or something stupid, I don't know. I don't do singing or songwriting, and neither
we
does
use the
most...
stupid, like, AOL, you got mail.
Yes! Oh my god! No, like that with Ricardo Diaz saying, "You stupid pricks! You stupid pricks! You got mail."
There you go. There you go.
There we go. So yes, of course, it is time for the prick mail, which is obviously you, our listeners' first opportunity, really, to say whatever it is that you feel like saying to us, or ask us whatever it is you feel like asking. And today's first question has come from the incomparable Dark Matter Wolf, who's always got fucking wonderful questions. Today's one is a doozy. His question is, if you had one day with one of your favorite people from any GTA game, who would it be and what would you talk about? Or what would you do? What would you do and what would you do? So if you could pick any character from GTA to hang out with in real life, what would you do and what would you talk about? And who would it be? So I think we'll go with you, Kane, seeing as you ummed. Right. So you go ahead.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, is it like main characters, like the main protagonist, or is
I
it?
think it can be anyone. Really.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't know. Should we do two? Like, you know, one for a main character and one for a side character?
Yeah, just one character in general.
I don't.
All right.
Yeah,
so I'll do a protagonist then. Why not? I'd probably choose like Luis from GTA 4. Just because, you know, I've always liked him, and I've always thought he seemed like a cool guy to hang around when he's not gang banging and doing crazy stuff for Yusuf and stealing a gold buzzard of all things. But you know, I think it'd be cool to learn how what life is like as somewhat of a bouncer in a nightclub. I mean, yeah, we already in the game we know he does other things that's not being a bouncer at Tony's club, but you know, let's just pretend we have no idea of his other doings in the world. You know, I think it'd be a cool conversation, you know, and just seeing what his life is like. I'll be honest, like out of all the protagonists in GTA 4, I think I don't know. I've always kind of been fond of Luis when it comes to like just him goofing around and just putting up with Tony's bullshit. I've always liked how, you know, calm and collective he can be sometimes, you know. I've always liked that character. So yeah, I'd probably just, you know, talk to Luis and see what he'd do and all that.
I like it. That's a pretty decent option, actually. I knew you were going to pick GTA 4 straight away, being such
of course. I mean, it would either be GTA 4 or Vice City, because those are like my favorite GTAs. But you know, I thought GTA 4 because somewhat modern setting, and it's hey, I wouldn't be alive then.
No, I like it. That's a good one, actually. I'm gonna throw it straight to GB now. GB, what would your favorite character be to talk to and hang out with in real life?
Well, I'd love to hang out with Claude. I'm sure he has a lot to say about this and that.
Oh, you stole mine!
Someone had to make the joke. Thank you, GB.
Right, well, I mean, all right. So, genuinely, though, you'd like to hang out with Claude?
No, that was a joke. But anyways, I guess I would pick Lamar, because Lamar just seems like a fun guy to hang out with, even though he gets on Franklin's nerves. Like, you can't have Franklin without Lamar. Like, they're a really good package. They're the dynamic duo of GTA 5. And I think Lamar's a pretty cool guy. So if I was to pick like from a variety of different characters, there's definitely plenty other ones from the 3D era and the HD era that are worth hanging out with that might not stab you in the back. I probably would go with Lamar.
Can I ask, on the subject of Lamar, would you then use his ability to call a mugger on someone and do that in real life?
No, but I'd use his roasting ability on all of you.
Oh,
and then
you better leave my yee ass haircut alone, GB.
Oh God, are you gonna get him to rap as well, like he did in the short trip?
Wait,
missions?
why did that sound so white when I said that? Then my yee ass haircut. I literally sound like a middle-aged photocopier salesman. Damn it! All right, UG, you're up.
I'd probably say if there was any GTA character that I could hang out with, it would probably be OG Loke.
Oh, God.
Hold it. Let me finish. The only reason I would hang out with him is I could just spend the whole day just making fun of him.
Or
Dude.
just call him Jeffrey.
No, call him Oglock, which is what Laszlo called him on the radio. He's like, we have a rapper here, it's Oglock. He's like, Oglock? Don't you mean OG Loke, fool, player buster?
Nobody.
I don't know, I could
likes
just spend the whole day just calling him skinny anorexic vanilla ice.
Yeah, and also, you could make fun of him stealing Mad Dog's rhymes. You'd be like, wow, you couldn't even write your own rhymes. You had to steal Mad Dog's instead.
Yeah.
And the best thing about it is, after the day is over, the last thing I could say to him is, go get lunch.
Ah, yes!
Isn't your shift at Burger Shot starting, OG Loke?
Yeah,
I mean,
come on,
Jeffrey.
Yeah, hygiene technician, bitch.
Oh, that's
You know, now you mentioned like Uchi. Look, I remember there was like a reference to him in the contract. I think like the what is it? The secretary mentions him, and he says like, "Oh, I had this squeaky voice, calling me," and I was like, "Yo, is that Jeffrey?"
Oh my god!
It's a funny little reference.
You know, on the
That makes me
subject,
smile.
Mad Dog and OG Loke, I will just quickly put this out there. I don't know if any of you guys notice, and I don't know if it's the same in the definitive defective edition. But in San Andreas, in the mission where you have to steal Mad Dog's rhymes and give them to OG Loke, there are clothing stores that have Mad Dog's clothes and OG Loke's clothes in them. And before you steal the rhymes and OG Loke uses the rhymes, his clothes are like $10, Mad Dog's are $500. After you've stole the rhymes and OG Loke's using Mad Dog's rhymes, the prices switch.
They switch.
Mad Dogs are worth $10. OG Lokes are worth $500. That's really so fucking in depth for them to think of that. To be honest, really, cool.
That's actually really cool.
That's pretty epic. Red, GTA protagonist or any character, it doesn't have to be protagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be anything. Well, in that case, I will pick Michael. Like, yes, he is kind of a rat. Yes, he has anyone doesn't like him at all. Well, he looks like someone that has a lot of fucking stories, interesting stories to tell. Like he's one of those people that you can just hang around and drag him just to tell you some shit when you drink a beer or something.
Yeah, I'm
that's fine.
And not only that, but like let's say similar to mine with Luis, let's say you have no idea of his criminal history and you just know him as that guy that worked on Meltdown and Solomon's studios. You just know him as the movie guy, It'd be cool talking to him. Like, I can see him like that,
I see what Red's saying. He definitely is the kind of guy who would have some stories to tell over beers. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would never be a dull, drinking session with Michael DeSanta or Michael Townley, whatever you call him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with that. Mine, I genuinely was going to pick Claude, and my only reasoning for picking Claude was because I like to talk a fuckload, and he would never interrupt me. But I guess I'm going to have to pick someone else. I probably, honestly, would go. I'd go with Lance Vance or Lance Vance, as anyone else would say it. But yeah, Lance would be not because he's a dirty scumbag. Because he is, but. I would just make fun of him. Same reason as you, UG. To hang out with OG Loke to take the piss out of him. I wouldn't stop calling him Lance Vance Dance all day. I'd take the piss out of him. I really would. I'd bully the hell out of him. Not that I'm encouraging.
I got enough of that at school.
Yeah, I got enough of that at school. It's either him or Phil Cassidy. But obviously Phil Cassidy when he still had both arms, not one arm Cassidy. That would suck. Imagine having to buy drinks. Bring them over and say, yeah, hold my drink while I go to the toilet. I only got one arm, you bastard. Oh, yeah, shit. Fuck. Sorry, I'll put it on the table then, dickhead. But yeah, you'll probably be Lance.
This surprises me because I think everyone else here probably assumed, I know that's a dangerous thing to do, that you were going to pick Tommy.
No. Yeah, I know. And honestly, I would have any other time, but I feel like that means I'd hang out with Ray Liotta in real life, and I mean, because essentially Tommy Vercetti was just Ray Liotta, wasn't he, with the volume turned up? I don't think I'd feel comfortable in his presence. Not in terms of he might sexually touch me, but in terms of he's far too great a man to be fucking bothered hanging around with me for a day. Do you know what I mean? I could not have the
where.
wherewithal.
You separate the character? Like, I know there's obviously similarities between Ray Liotta and Tommy Vercetti. But let's just say Tommy Vercetti just happens to sound like Ray Liotta, but his own person.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I would. I'd probably hang out with him. But honestly, I feel like because you play as him, you know pretty much everything about Tommy, and there isn't much else to find
Well,
out.
like, let's say it's a scenario, like, you're just having a business meeting with him or something, and, you know, you're just meeting him for the first time, and you just know him as the kingpin of Vice City.
Oh, so I don't know him as a video game character. I just know him as the guy
you
who
just
runs
know
Vice
he's,
City.
like, one of the most
in that
powerful
case,
people in
in
Vice
that
City.
case, I'd 100% pick him then, because there'd be so many questions I'd have to ask and things that I'd want to know, little secrets,
like,
stuff like
oh,
that.
how'd you get to this level of power? Like, how'd you rise?
You're right. I probably should have picked Tommy Vercetti, but I just thought I was going to be a little bit left field and pick something different.
Yeah.
And now I'm regretting that decision, so thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, but even like if you met Tommy Vercetti, it'd be the greatest thing in the world. Two pricks meeting in the same place.
Oh yeah, I mean, he is the grand prick, isn't he? Let's be honest. So,
yeah,
if anyone's going to learn from anyone, it's going to be learning from him, isn't it? On how to be a better prick. I think we've covered that question, Dark Matter Wolf. I genuinely hope you are happy with our responses. Now we are going to move on to the next question very quickly here, but I do have to say, as this next question is from Snake Freezer, and it's not just a question, it's two questions. So what I'm going to ask you to do, Mr. Slowly, is I'm gonna field one of your questions now, but the other question you're gonna have to wait until the next episode of the Prickcast. And if you don't want to wait, you're gonna have to buy Prickcast Plus for $5.99 a month, and you'll get your question answered pretty much. Right. So anyway, the question that Mr. Slowly has asked is, which is your most beloved game only from current and last gen? So we can't pick anything from the Mega Drive era or the Commodore 64, as Mr. Slowly so badly reveres. It has to be from this generation or last generation.
Right, so like PS4, PS5, and all that kind of stuff then.
Yeah, I think I wrote down the limitations, like PS4, Xbox One, PS5, Xbox Series, Switch. I think those all exist in the same realm. Now, I'm surprised that Snake actually asked a question regarded to current and last gen and not went deep dive on us with, what is your favorite game from the Sega Master and the original NES? I'm shocked that he's actually with the times here. So,
what is your favorite game from the Atari 2600? Mine was E.T.
Snake impression better than any of ours. That's absolutely phenomenal. Well done, man. Can we just get a bit of love for GB's Snake impression? That is actually better than any of ours.
We love you, GB.
Oh, that was brilliant, man.
Well, think of it, it could be worse.
I love Snake GB now. That's brilliant.
Well, it could be worse. Like, say, could ask like a question that results in like 15 parts.
Oh no, I'm surprised
he did better this time than the last time we asked a question that he answered.
True.
He condensed his entire holy Bible of questions down to one dissertation. Well done, Mr. Slow. But yeah, I mean, who we go? We'll go the other way around this time. We'll go to Red first. What's your most beloved game from current or last gen, Red?
Current or last gen, I will put Forza Horizon 5.
Wow.
I was expecting some sort of elite racing game, and yeah,
but you just started playing that game. It's already one of your favorites.
It's like, the thing is, there is a point and that you see something that is basically groundbreaking, and I was basically before I was like, yeah, Forza Horizon is super overrated, blah blah blah. But you know why after you play it is, everything feels so correct and so smooth. Like, sure, like, it's not like GTA, like, for example, like some person that in some stream said. It's like, it's not that, like, all the cars feel different. Like, you can drive, it's not like, again, it's not like GTA, you can drive a 200 horsepower Honda, and it's not going to feel the same as a 1,400 Hennessy. Like, all cars feel different, have different behavior. The map feels really good. It fits every single car. Like, in that video that I uploaded for the Hennessy Venom, like, yeah, the car was a bitch to control. I was having a lot of fun trying to control that thing, and because it's basically 1.8 horsepower you have to control, and you can see that the quality of difference besides the Crew 2. It's like the handling feels smooth, everything feels different, the map is gorgeous, the detail, well, it's not as gorgeous as Gran Turismo, of course, but everything has its touches and it feels completely correct. And of course it's gonna be one of the groundbreaking games, and it's gonna put competition to everything else that is going to come out. That means Test Drive Solid Crown. That means the new Need for Speed. That means future arcade racing games, open world. Like, is that a statement? Is that message that it gives? And that's why I put it. And that is one of my most beloved games on this current generation. Well done, Xbox. You took me out of the PlayStation.
Plus, my Drive-Tar is actually really good at racing, unlike me.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a topic for. I can touch it very briefly. GB. He drives well, but
No,
he's
I
not
don't.
like pro. Well, but I'm trying to be. I
had a series called Racing Badly. Okay.
Yeah, no. I'm just trying to be polite.
You don't have
the
to.
thing is like usually when you pick Drivators, the game tells you, okay, what is the difficulty you want? It goes to novice to basically unbeatable. I'm right now trying to expert because it's the best one for me. Man, even if it's UG or GB or Snake Freesia, it's like everyone drives like a fucking professional. They barely touch the brakes in whatever corner it is. If it's a close corner, they take the best routes, they take the best fucking lanes. They are able to brake shake you as well. That pisses the fuck out of me. They also try to push you out of the road. Like as much as I can say, Forza Horizon 5 is really good. Yeah, it has really, really challenging NPCs. Even if it's your friends, they turn them into absolute assassins, like the ones I mentioned, or like trying to basically brake checking you and all that, or just pure ass professionals controlling cars with lots of horsepower completely fine. And like yesterday, I was having a nightmare trying to using my Brabham to tune it up, and GB was using that stupid Bugatti Devo, and he was just like jumping off. Like it's like in the start, they just fly off. It's like and yeah, it's a 4-wheel drive car. I'm just trying to just tune up my little Brabham that doesn't have too much horsepower. But yeah, that's my game.
Oh, okay. Well, brilliant. Let's go to UG. What are you thinking?
Look, I'm gonna keep this short and to the point. I've mentioned this game already, so I'm just gonna say it really quick and move on. Persona 5 The Royal. That's it.
Nice, concise. Well done.
Indeed. It has a wonderful score as well. Even if I haven't played the Persona games, it has a beautiful score.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have one of the scores as my intermission screen. That's how much I love that game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, GB.
I'm also going to keep it short and sweet for time. Ghost of Tsushima, I think it's probably one of my favorite games of this generation. I could have said Red Dead Redemption 2. I do love that game, but I feel like for the most part, Ghost of Tsushima just comes across more smooth and not as clunky at times when it comes to the mechanics of Red Dead Redemption 2. So yeah, I'm going to go Ghost of Tsushima.
Smashing choice. Brother Kane?
I think most people probably know what I'm going to mention, because it is something I've made a preflow of montages on, and also I did a Let's Play on it, and I'm just going to, just like the lads earlier, short and sweet, Spider-Man PS4 or Spider-Man Remastered by Insomniac Games, or Insomniac Goats as I like to call them, because they are the greatest of all times when it comes to like a Marvel game. And, you know, they, in my opinion, they've done probably one of the best Spider-Man games of all time, in my personal opinion. But yeah. That's my pick.
Love it. I'm going to keep mine short and sweet as well. Mine probably isn't going to be a surprise to many people. Mine's actually GTA 5 from this and the last generation. I love GTA in general. And I think as much hate as it gets, GTA 5 is still a phenomenal game. Story and online mode. So yeah, that's mine.
Issue with this is, can we technically count GTA 5 on this list? Because Snake said current and last gen, not last gen, and GTA 5 came out on the Xbox 360 and PS3.
Well, technically, if we want to get around that barrier, actually, the PS4 version is a remaster of the PS3 version.
Should we allow
Suck my balls. Among Us. There you go. That's my
Among Us.
Fuck off.
Among Us!
That's what we're doing
The
now.
roof is, they don't know where the
Mike.
door is.
If you really want to think about it, you could have mentioned Warzone.
What, Snore Zone?
Most
Oh,
beloved
God.
game.
Well, same thing, really.
Said most beloved game, not pain of my fucking existence. I love you, Warzone. Fuck's sake. Right, let's move
Not
quickly on to
really.
the very last question of the prick mail. If I don't field this one from Uzi, then he's probably going to cry into his Yorkshire Terriers first. So,
Fuck off.
walk off. His question is simply, what's your favourite moment on GTA? So I'm going to take that as you can pick any GTA you want and pick one favourite moment from it, time permitting, obviously, chaps. So, so Brother Kane, what is your most favourite moment on GTA? Out of all the GTAs, we're going to do this.
There is one moment that I actually really like, and I consider it one of my favourite moments, and it's no surprise here. You know, you're the Vice City guy, I'm the GTA 4 guy, pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually from Free Leaf Clover, the heist in the campaign, and it's actually the cutscene that plays, you know, when Saint Michael gets shot by you know, the hostage.
Oh,
That,
yeah.
you know, pulls out a gun. I know that's kind of like a weird scene, but it's kind of like for me, you know, you spend time with the McCrearys and you get to know some of them, whether they're dickheads or not. That's up for you to decide. But you know, it kind of does hit you in the field because you know you think, oh, it's gonna go smooth, the heist is gonna go to plan, and then you know you have a casualty. You know, and that's, you know, when you're doing like a heist in any of the other games, like in GTA 5, like they kind of take away the emotional seriousness of losing a crew member, because like if you lose a crew member, they're just like, oh no, crew member dead, choose a different one for another heist. But in Free Leaf Clover, you actually feel the impact because, you know, it changes how like the remaining McCrearys in the heist act. And you know, Nico, he's just being Nico, doing his little Nico Bellic thing, you know.
Yep.
But I don't know. I've always liked that scene. As someone that's kind of into like those kind of scenes, you know, like emotional little scenes, you know. I like it personally, you know. I thought it was a good scene.
That's brilliant, actually. I knew you were going to pick GTA 4 anyway, but I like that because, yeah.
I mean, I could have chosen like the other, like the two possible endings, you know, at Roman's
Yeah,
wedding.
I was thinking you would have gone with one of the endings more than anything.
I felt like that's too generic. Most people would choose that. They're like, oh no, you know, Roman died, or oh no, random chick that Nico meets dies. You know, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, I wanted to do something unique, and I feel like there are some people that actually do kind of get hit in the feels whenever they are doing Free Leaf Clover for the first time. I know it definitely did kind of, you know, make me like, oh shit, you know, when I first played that mission all them years ago, it's back in 2010.
Definitely.
But yeah, that's my pick.
All right, I think I'll go next then. So I would say my favorite GTA moment of all time probably would have to be from GTA Vice City, of course. And it's not actually a moment that you would expect me to pick. You would think I would pick something to do with Tommy Vercetti, but I wouldn't. I'm gonna.
Okay.
I like the Boomshine Saigon mission from Phil Cassidy, where you have
that's actually a good pick.
you drive drunk as shit, and Phil Cassidy has just blown his arm off because he's a fucking moron. And so yeah, you drive drunk as shit, taking Phil to the hospital, and it's incredibly difficult. And I think originally that's probably the start of the drunk mechanics that you now have on GTA 4 and GTA 5. You know, when you can drive drunk now, or you can drive high or whatever, and it gives you that weird blurry screen feeling. I think they pioneered that in Vice City, to be honest, because that shit was just awful. But it's still my favorite moment because of the frustration that it caused me and the anger that it caused me. I think that's probably why it's my favorite moment. So yeah.
Yeah. You know, the scene I was actually thinking of that I thought you were going to mention, which I'm surprised you didn't do. I'm surprised you went for like the boom front. I mean, that's still a good scene, don't get me wrong. But the scene I was actually thinking was in like the final mission where Tommy's like really close to, you know, Sonny, and Sonny's like, "What? You're gonna think I'm gonna accept the counterfeit cash and have a guy on the inside?" And then Tommy says, "No, I just wanted to piss you off one last time before I kill you."
Yeah, no, I mean, that is it. But again, it's like your reasoning for not picking the final scene is because it's something that everyone would pick. So yeah, the only reason I didn't pick that is because I didn't want to sound like I didn't know anything about the game. And
Yeah, but I still think that is a really fucking badass scene. Like,
it is a fucking deadly scene.
mm,
It shows Tommy Vercetti for all his badassery, because he seemed like such a nice guy most of the time when you play through it. Do you know what I mean? He seems like such you can understand why he's doing what he's doing. But yeah, I appreciated that scene. Showed that Tommy Vercetti was a real badass. GB, do you have anything for us?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many moments throughout all the GTAs. It's hard to really zero in on one. But I guess GTA 4 will go GTA 4. It's the betrayal when you find out that Dimitri has stabbed Nico in the back, and Bogdan shows up. Now, up until this point, I remember when I first playthrough, I actually thought that Dimitri was a nice guy, that he had morals compared to Faustin, but they did this quick 180 on you and revealed that no, Faustin may have been a scumbag, but he was never going to stab you in the back, as long as you were loyal to him. But Dimitri proves to be the real snake between the two, and you find that out whenever he rats out Nico, and then Bogdan shows up. And fortunately for Nico, he finds out who his real friends are when little Jacob goes with him and has his back. So it shows you who you actually can rely on as a friend, as opposed to who you need to keep an eye out for. So I think that was a good moral lesson right there, and a good turn scene, because you don't expect Dimitri to become the main antagonist until that point. It just catches you completely off guard, because you always hear about Bogdan this, Bogdan that, but then all of a sudden it becomes Dimitri, and all the way till the end, no matter what choice you go with, it is Dimitri that you ultimately have to deal with throughout the rest of the game, trying to stop you, trying to kidnap and kill Roman and anyone else that Nico loves and cares about. Because, Nico is a soldier, right? He's been through a lot. He killed a lot of people, but he still has a heart. There's still people he cares about, like his cousin Roman, despite the fact that Roman, lied to him about, what life was going to be like in America. He still gives a damn about Roman. He gives a damn about some of the other friends he makes along the way, including Brucey and Packy, and he even cared about Michelle until she turned out to be an agent for the IA. And it was obvious that it broke his heart when that revelation happened. And it made me not want to pick out another girlfriend for Nico, because I felt like there was a nice bond between him and Michelle. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stories and a lot of moments throughout all of GTAs, but I think that moment really showed how serious of a tone it was going to be going forward throughout the rest of the events of GTA 4.
Yeah, I agree. Very good choice. Red, do you have anything for us?
Oh, to be honest, I'm not as attached as you guys when it comes to GTA. For me, they're like really meh missions. When it comes to storytelling, they're like fine. Again, the best storytelling mission it comes to Red Dead Redemption, not for GTA. But say moment, it's not actually a mission or knowing someone. It's actually something you can do. It's basically just go, get a bike on San Andreas, put KTSD and drive around. It's really cool. That is actually a really nice feeling. Just grab a fucking bike and go and just click around in the desert, listening. That is a special station. That's what that's an actually really cool moment. Just you can do it anytime.
Bro, I did the same thing as you, but instead of the bike, it was the the camper van for me. The little the Volkswagen camper. That's what I would drive around the desert listening to K-Dust.
Also works with the P-51 Mustang.
Yeah.
Oh man, now you're just making me want to drive around San Andreas. That's beautiful, dude. I love it. Sorry. Fucking. I was zoned out for a second. I was literally imagining myself driving around the damn desert. Right. UG. Last but definitely not least, what is your favorite moment in GTA across?
Turning the console off.
Okay, and that includes... Is that literally it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay, fair enough. So, UG is turning the console off. I expected nothing less from a man who plays Persona 5, so fair enough.
Oh shit! Not bad.
And this coming from someone who plays Warzone with squeakers. Fuck off.
I know. That's why it's funny that I said that. I'm doing the worst out of all of us. Fuck.
Oh, hold on, Mike. Just before we move on, look at my profile picture. That's exactly what I'm doing to you right now.
So I think that pretty much concludes Prickmail. I did say, Mr. Slowly, when you are watching this, make sure you pay the $5.99 a month, and we will get to your question as soon as possible. But also, thank you for condensing what is basically a holy Bible worth of questions into just one nice little neat question or two. So thank you. That must have really pained you to do that. So thank you.
And it is nice that we get to also save it, the second half for, next time on the show.
Yeah. But
which is kind of good. It's something to look forward to,
It
Snake.
is.
Think of it as that.
Yeah, something to look forward to. But as always, thank you to everybody who has sent in questions, especially Dark Matter Wolf, because he's relentless with the questions, and they're always very good questions. Same with you, Uzi and Mr. Slowly. We do appreciate everyone sending questions in and comments. It's always nice to get a different opinion on things, or for people to ask our opinion on things. So it is greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for that. And that is Prickmail concluded, gentlemen. Over to you, Kane.
So I think we're at the closing calls right now. So I guess we got to tell each other, we got to tell you all about our channel. So, GB, would you like to go first on telling people what's going on your channels?
Basically, just thoughts videos, ideas videos, rant videos. Right now, I guess some of it's themed around GTA. I may have another Red Dead video coming up in a few weeks. And streaming through more Zelda eventually. We're going to keep going through Zelda casually. I might be playing Saints Row by the end of August, whenever that comes out. Hopefully it's a good game. The stories, the characters, I'm not really excited about, but maybe the game itself might actually be fun, but I'll check it out in about a month from now when it comes to the Saints Row reboot. And I'm going to keep streaming Red Dead Redemption multiplayer with UG Outlaw over here, Belfast Gamer, Erica, and a few others on our road to Legendary. And, Black Hat 11, Red Dead Redemption 2. That's happening probably later on this month as well. So feel free and check out my channel. Link below in the description section, along with everybody else's channels.
Interesting. Very interesting. Dude. Now, you mentioned Mr. UG Outlaw. Now, we're going to go and ask him what's going on his lovely little humble abode of his channel. Going on, mate, dude.
Alrighty then. So, at the moment, myself, Kane, Mike, and some other bearded buffoon that we know are going through the Doomsday scenario at the moment. So probably by the time this episode comes out, we'll have hopefully Act 2 finished and we can move on to the dreaded Act 3. Don't worry, I'll have the drinks on ice, lads. When it comes to Red Dead Redemption 2, the road trip series is going to continue. Why that got 1,000 views per video, I'll never fucking know. But anyways.
Luck.
And yeah, I'm basically going to go with that. And yeah, I do a lot of Let's Plays on the channels here and there. I basically just stream whatever I want. So if you want to subscribe, feel free to. If not, piss off.
That's a bit mean. Put it off and piss, do.
Love it.
I don't know what it is for me today. I'm just being such a dick today.
Dear me.
Bloody marvelous.
Mr. Gaming Jew, you're talking about marvelous. Well, let's actually talk about something that's not marvelous. Your channel, what's going on over there?
Yeah, well, on my not marvelous channel, I sincerely and wholeheartedly agree with you, sir. I mean, what is there going on? Nothing. For the last 49 days, I haven't done anything. Well, at least at the time of recording. I'm hoping that the day after this recording, tomorrow, which won't be... I can't figure that out. That's far too much. Essentially, I should be back streaming by then. Essentially.
We're gonna have day 50 of June on streaming Warzone.
No,
Come
we're
on.
Not. We're getting Warzone. I'm doing Warzone tomorrow. I have to. I've been playing it while we've been sat here recording, and I've got the feels for it again. I'm enjoying
he's breaking the cycle. Sorry to rain on your parade, Red, but he's breaking the cycle.
I know, I have to. And not only that, but I only want to break it because Snake's trying to say that I'll make 90 days without Warzone, and proving him wrong is literally why I was put on this earth. So, do it. So yeah, I mean, I will be doing some other stuff. I've got a Mafia Definitive Edition to play through. I've got Resident Evil 8 to play through, and also a couple of other games such as Enlisted and Battlefield 1. So I will be getting around to doing all of that stuff on my channel over the coming weeks. So yeah, drop a sub or don't. I don't particularly care.
And well, I'm gonna do my channel now real quick because the last person we're gonna be promoting, he's doing the outro. But yeah, on my channel, I do a few Let's Plays here and there. I cover bad game online. I'm showing off the drip feed at the moment, and I've been recently getting back into Payday 2, so you might see me mucking around, robbing banks and convenience stores as some angry British man with a ponytail. I'll be honest, Hoxton, I love you. Pete Gold, you do a great job voicing him, but Yuji Outlaw, he has the better ponytail look. I'm sorry, man. It's
Oh, he
just
does.
the
Thank
truth.
you.
But yeah, that's what's going on my channel. A few live streams here and there. And in September, my Let's Play begins. I'm off to a lighthouse to start the Let's Play on BioShock Infinite. A classic game. Classic.
Oh, hell yeah.
Classic. But yeah, that's what's on my channel. And finally, Mr. Red, shall you tell us what's on the channel and end the show, as they say?
Well, in my case, day of recording, I'm gonna continue True Crime Streets of New York. I skipped Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday because I was super lazy. But I hope that the basically day of recording, I will be streaming again True Crime. That I actually owe you that episode. Also, continuing with more PlayStation 2 games, we're gonna see later on if we can continue doing Forza 5, because again, I'm enjoying the fuck out of that game. It's amazing. And maybe some other stuff. I also preparing some GTA stuff here and there, because I'm kind of disagreeing with some reviews about the new car. So that's what kind of fueled me to do that. But yeah, that's the whole plan of the channel. I'm not giving you any dates of that content because I don't know. I work in a different schedule of the other guys. I do it what I want to, so that's why. And that's pretty much for today. Thank you very much, guys, and thank you for listening to Prickast. And with GB, the gaming Jew, with his 50 days of no Warzone, and the gaming Yuji Outlaw and Kane. So yeah, thank you very much, and see you on the next one. Goodbye.
You stupid pricks!